All you have in life is what you pay attention to. I'm Wright Brennan. This is the Lost in the Midlands podcast brought to you by Seawright Roofing. And today I'm fired up to have with us Collen Crosby Roofing and Gutters, a fellow roofer in the industry. Collen, man, thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I've been watching the podcast, listening on. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. We get to talk about some roof stuff. I never get to talk about roof stuff on here.
It's going to be the longest podcast we've ever had.
I know. Well, all right, before we get into any of that kind of stuff, I do want to hear about your journey in the industry and maybe just kind of what's brought to you to here. So
Sure. Yeah, so Crosby Roofing started in 1989, which was before I was born. So I'm a second-generation roofer. And my dad started the business out of Macon, Georgia in 1989. And it's pretty unique story. He was a PE coach at, I think it's Ware Middle School back in Macon, Georgia.
Awesome.
And him and my mom, they found out that my oldest sister was on the way, and he decided he needed to do something to make some more money.
Yeah.
So he actually started by building storage buildings. And I think what he told me is they built like a little standard 10 by 12 storage buildings. I think he said he was charging like $250 material and labor put together. So
that's a deal, man.
Oh, it's the best deal. It's the best deal ever. And it took him all weekend. I'm sure he walked away with no money.
Yeah.
But one of his clients at the time said, hey, I hired a roofer 3 weeks ago. He no-showed me, hasn't showed up. Mm-hmm. Materials are in the driveway. Do you know how to roof? And right before my dad said no, he goes, I was going to pay him $1,500 to roof this house. If you can do it, here's $1,500.
Wow.
And from that day forward, that's the birth of Crosby Roofing.
What an amazing event in time.
Yeah,
super cool. Okay, so there's always something that kind of just starts the fire.
Yeah.
What started your fire in this business? Did you work for the man or?
Yeah, for sure. So my fire, I mean, first of all, I like most guys, I idolized my dad growing up. So he runs a good business. He's a great father figure in our family, and so I idolized him. I didn't really know what he did. I knew he was in the roofing business, but I enjoyed the fact that he was able to go to work, have a good sense of worth.
Yeah.
At a young age, I just always said I wanted to do what he did.
Cool.
So I guess in high school, when my older brother and I started to show interest in the business, he mentioned, well, I love that you want to come in the business, but I'm probably not going to retire until I kick the bucket. So
I love it.
He said, so you can work for me until I'm out, or if you want to talk about open up another branch in the business, we can have that conversation. So my older brother, I call him Bubba. His name is Richard. He's the second. He started in Augusta, Georgia in 2012.
Cool.
And I moved with him shortly after and started working for him. And and then in 2014 is when I moved here and opened up our business here in the Midlands. So I've been at it we just celebrated 10 years in business. It's something we're super proud of.
Congrats.
Thanks, man. Yeah. And yeah, we've, you and I have been working with each other and against each other for 10 years. Because you started about the same time?
14.
Yeah.
Big hailstorm, Northeast Columbia. Thank God that happened. Because I don't know what would have happened if that not happened.
The craziest thing is that I moved here on May 10th of 2014.
Yeah.
That storm hit the 23rd.
Oh, Lordy.
And when I moved here, my goal was to, sell a roof. I had no idea that one of the largest hailstorms in the Southeast was going to hit our backyard.
That was a big boy.
It was crazy. It was nuts. So yeah, it's fun. It's been a roller coaster. There's ups and downs in owning a business and being in the roofing business, but I've had a blast along the way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is super awesome. When we kind of really started, I remember when and then at that time, there were some other people in the field. It's been fun to kind of watch the market change, in all honesty.
It's been crazy. Yeah, I remember seeing your business from the start. There was a neighborhood that we were both working in, and I remember seeing your business from the very beginning. Truly, I think I remembered as one of the first companies. That and it was Rumsey, who's another local business. They're still in business.
Oh yeah, Brendan.
Yeah. It's neat.
He did a lot more roofs that year than I did. That's for dang sure.
More than me too. Yeah, more than me too.
This is Wright Brennan, the owner of Seawright Roofing. When it comes to the maintenance of your roof, you want to know that you have an experienced team that knows what they're doing. And with 10 years in the business, we check all the boxes. Leaky roof, storm damage, or just overdue on maintenance, give us a call at 803-828-4181 for a free estimate. Again, that's 803-828-4181. And remember, our commitment is to roof it the right way. Awesome. Fantastic. All right, cool. So, today, tell me, you got operations going, you got a big team, and you're running the show. And tell me a little bit about leadership style, kind of how do you keep the engine moving?
Sure. We've grown over the years. Really lucky to have some good hires along the way.
Yeah, awesome.
The way it worked is our first 5 years of business, we were smaller. I was trying to figure it out, learning what I wanted to do, and we started really growing and hiring around 2019. And my first main hire is still with me today, and he's just an instrumental part of the business. And
awesome.
Yeah, so I guess I've always wondered. I guess I learned my leadership from my dad, and he's always led, from being in the field and led through integrity. And it's funny, of all the advice he's ever given me, the one that sticks the most is if you tell somebody you're going to do something, you need to do it.
Yeah.
And it's so simple. But if you tell somebody you're going to be at their house at 11 o'clock, you better be there at 11. And that's the most simple advice he's given me, and that's kind of what I have always led with as well. Don't make promises you can't keep, and make sure you follow through on everything you say you're going to do.
Yeah, that is great advice. That's a lesson to be learned in home improvement, because when you're with a customer for like hours, you may say something by accident. Well, you're now inclined to do that.
Absolutely, and I'm not going to say I haven't done that in the past. I remember, especially in the early years, it's like, if you want to get this roofing job, can you hang these shutters, or can you put curtains in my house? Absolutely.
Sure, yeah. And then 2 months later, like, I guess I did say that. All right.
Exactly. And that's just being, green and wanting to please everybody the most you can.
I think that's well said. That's what like when you make those mistakes, it's because you just want to make them happy.
Exactly. It's you don't have bad intentions. I'd never heard of until probably 2014 is when we started really using it.
Yeah.
But now, fast forward to 2024, and the hottest thing on the market and what the most is exciting is probably solar.
Yeah.
I haven't really ventured that into that area too much. I want it to be great for our industry. I do. I think the solar panel business and the roofing business, we're so strongly connected. I think in 20 years from now, if you're a roofer and you're not doing solar, you're going to be in the past.
It's hard to see how these things are not just going to like marry into, they're not going to morph into one thing. At some point, it's coming.
Agreed. But right now, it's rare to find roofers that do both.
Yeah.
And I know you've done.
We tried. It didn't work out great.
It's hard. It's really hard. It's it's just right now those markets, they don't work together.
Yeah.
And but I'm sure have you seen there's the GAF solar shingle. A couple of our it's not really advertised well yet because I think they're kind of testing the waters.
Yeah.
Certainteed is my manufacturer. They're teasing us with it. They're putting it in their promotions, but I can't get it yet. I've asked and it's not available to me in this market yet. But I'm ambitious. I hope that it does well because a shingle that integrates with solar, man, I think that's the sweet spot. It's got to be, but
it's pretty cool too. It's like, these are like sweet,
and it's cool. So we'll see what happens, but I'm hoping that works out well for us.
Yeah, a lot of positivity in the solar world coming down the road. I mean, there are some people doing some successful solar stuff now, like you said, not really roofers, but like just guys doing the solar thing.
That's right.
And yeah, so awesome. All right, the other one I want to talk about is like the scary I word, the insurance stuff. Because let's be honest, you do some insurance work, right?
Of course. We do insurance, and every roofing company you see, most of their advertisements are, free roof inspection. The reason we want to inspect it for free is because, of course, we want to get up there and if we can. I've always thought, and I'm sure you feel the same way. Roofing, first of all, is an expensive home makeover project.
For sure.
And if insurance is there to foot the bill and we do a really good job, our clients are just extremely happy.
Oh yeah.
It's nice to talk to somebody who also knows the ins and outs of it. But whenever you are working with, if you feel like you have roof damage to your home, or if you need a new roof, I'd always recommend calling a roofer and having them do an inspection. You can ask the question. There's no reason to file a claim if you don't have any storm damage at all.
Yeah.
But it's worth having a look at it.
Oh yeah.
And I do think over the last 20 years, or I guess I can talk more specifically about the last 10 years. When I started in the business in 2014, on top of us having that massive hailstorm, the insurance business was different.
Oh yeah.
If you had a roof over 15 years old, there was a pretty good shot insurance was going to buy your roof. And I'd be lying if I didn't miss those days. But
it's so easy anymore.
No, it's not. And I get it. I think that in any industry, there's great contractors and then there's bad contractors. Unfortunately, in the roofing business, a lot of the bad contractors kind of ruined, I would say, the trust that insurance companies put on us. Insurance, not to sing their praises either, because they're definitely what I see right now is insurance companies are it's like they're trying to get back their profit for the last 10 years, yeah. And they're denying claims that really should be approved. So I would say more than ever now is when you need to contact either Crosby or Seawright Roofing to have your roof inspected before you file a claim. Because, and Wright knows we've got a lot of roofing contractors around. We've got a lot of good ones, and we've got some that are not so great. But there's plenty of great professional roofing companies here that are just doing jam up jobs, yeah, and that know the industry in and out. So do your due diligence, do your research, and I would recommend having a roofer if you're gonna try to take on the insurance company for sure.
Oh yeah, you should absolutely get armed with a roofer. And it's interesting, like you mentioned, roofers there's a spectrum, there's a curve, and they're at all points. The same with insurance companies and adjusters; they're on a curve too. That's so right. Kind of marrying the right stuff, super important if you're going through there. And the roofing business will be around. The roofing is going to continue whether or not the insurance companies are paying for the roofs or not.
That's right.
Which is cool.
Yeah, and that's kind of it is funny. It's in the roofing world. There's some roofing companies that only do retail. Yeah. They stay out of insurance. And then there's some companies that only do insurance and they stay out of retail. And it's such a different the roofing industry as a whole is pretty crazy for that.
I agree. I think if you're only doing insurance and you're a roofer, and I hate to tell people, you might want to start looking at doing retail.
Listen, I couldn't agree more. In my background, so in Crosby Roofing in Macon, when they started in '89, up until 2007, my dad was one of those companies that said he stayed away from insurance. Yeah, he had zero insurance claims, and I don't think he understood them. And then he was forced into it, luckily, because of a significant weather event that came through our area. Yeah. So that was around about the time that I was showing interest into it. So as long as I've been in it, I've seen retail and insurance, and I think there's a great way to do both. Whether insurance is paying for your roof or not, and I'm sure you're the same. You can still give an estimate, you can still write the quote, and you can still do a great job.
Absolutely. Well said. All right, so I wanted to hear your advice for two types of people. All right, first type is just an entrepreneur who wants to go into business. What do you tell a man who's trying to build from the ground up?
I love this question because there are days as an entrepreneur. I've been self-employed for 10 years, and even as recently as in the last month, there are days that I feel like I'm just doing exactly what I want to do, and I'm living the dream. And then the same week, I'll have a day when I'm like, why am I in the roofing business, or why am I self-employed? And so more than anything, for somebody looking to get in to start a business, what I would tell them is you really need to put in your best effort, do your research on what field you want to get into, and have the intentions of helping people out. And if you can find value to help people, you're gonna get business and you're gonna stay in business. Absolutely. And any business owner you see on social media that is just talking about having the best time ever, just know they have bad days too, because you want to have more good days than bad days, but it's not for the weak.
It's gritty out here, isn't it? It's a little gritty.
Yeah, it is.
All right, cool. And somebody who wants to get into roofing, what advice would you give a roofing man?
That's, if you're wanting to get into the roofing industry, I would recommend the way that I went is I learned from an industry leader in our market, which was my dad at the time, which is pretty convenient for me. But I would recommend, if you want to get into the roofing industry, find the best roofing company or one of the best roofing companies around your market and go learn from them. Because you really need to know what you're doing. We're dealing with people's homes, their most important investment.
Yeah.
Trial and error is not the best if you're dealing with somebody's livelihood. So before you jump into it, go learn from the best. And that would be the best recommendation I can give.
Awesome. Great advice. I'm going to hit you with a few rapid fire questions.
Let's hear them.
You can say, I'm not answering that, or you're welcome to whatever.
Plead the fifth.
All right. Favorite local barbecue?
Well, that's tricky. I'm going to...
You can plead the fifth on that one.
Yeah, there's two local spots that I really like, and you can't go wrong with Home Team down in 5 Points. I really like it for the barbecue, but also for the atmosphere. They run a good ship. And then City Limits in West Columbia. If you haven't been there, man, it's spectacular. It's locally owned, and it's just jam up barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. How about sushi?
Ooh, easy. I eat sushi way too much, at least twice a week. Taco sushi is my favorite. They when I lived in Augusta, I became a fan, and they started out of Augusta, Georgia.
Yeah.
They've got a location. Now I think there's a couple. There's one opening in downtown Lexington on Main Street, but the one that I like, the most recent location, Forest Acres, that's my spot.
If you could have one size ladder that you carry around in your truck, what is that ideal size for, if you got a ton of inspections coming up?
Well, I'll tell you what, I carry a Little Giant in the bed of my truck. Nice. Because I've got a bed cover. I like to keep, I've got 2 young kids. I like to keep a dry truck bed. So I keep an 18-foot Little Giant, but I'll be honest, I'm not doing inspections as much as I used to. So when I was in the field every day, I would want at least a 24-foot aluminum ladder.
Nice.
But now an 18-foot Little Giant gets me. If it's higher than 18 feet, I'm gonna send it to one of my reps.
You got someone to.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to one of my reps, or I'm gonna call a friend.
Yeah, that 18-footer, I've got one of those too. It is a very versatile ladder.
Yeah, it is. It's nice.
Fantastic. Okay, so where can we find you? How do we get in touch?
Yeah, sure. So on our social media, if you want to find us on social media, you can find us at it's Crosby Roofing _SC on Instagram and Crosby Roofing Columbia on Facebook. Or you can always call our office to speak with us if you're interested in getting into the roofing industry. Give us a call. I love roofing. I'm always here to talk about it. Just like I was so excited to be on this podcast.
Yeah,
I can talk roofing forever. So give us a call. And we'd love to chat with you.
Fantastic. Hey, look, thanks for coming on. It's fun to have a roofer on. It's fun to have somebody out here who's not only just crushing it, but raising standards in the industry. And I look forward to seeing what's to come with Crosby. So thanks, man.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, sir. Hey everyone, many thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, give us a follow and click the bell to stay up to date on future episodes, or click the link to watch another previous episode. Also, don't forget to like, share, and please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear your feedback.